Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me again. Today I'm going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of driver throws. There's a lot of people that get this mixed up when they're trying to throw their driver. They try harder, pick the wrong disc, do a whole bunch of issues, and today I'm going to cover those. Stay tuned. Hey guys, the first thing you have to do when you're throwing your driver shots is pick a stability. Just because you're throwing your driver does not mean that you need to pick your most overstable one and crank it over and turn it over. You can throw driver shots and be very, very smooth and throw nice hyzer flip, turn over, come back driver shots. Just because you're throwing a driver, it doesn't need to be a spike hyzer or a shot thrown as hard as you can or turned over as much as you can. So here, I have my 4 main drivers that I use. This Jumpman, this disc flies the same. They're the same color. I accidentally grabbed this one instead of the other one. Let's move on. So here, this is my most understable destroyer. So this is a disc you're going to see me throwing in the woods or in a shot where I only maybe want to go 400 feet and I don't want to rip it. I just need that little bit of extra distance, maybe because of a low ceiling or something like that. So I'm going to throw a driver still, but I'm going to hold it different and I'm going to throw it nice little nose up, a nice little control shot. Here we come to my second one. This is an S-Line PD2. So this is going to handle a little more power. So if I want to go up over some trees or a nice little flex line, you might see me pull this disc out. Here we have my baby. I throw this disc for a whole bunch of shots. You guys have seen it be thrown. And again, this is a disc that I can reliably trust if I want to throw it as hard as I can. But also, with the right grip and the right form, I can get this disc to fly 250 feet exactly how I want and shape some of these holes we have on tour. Here we have another S-Line PD2, which is also super, super overstable. No matter what way I throw this disc, it's going to the left. So this disc is going to require way more power and way more effort. So if I want to throw a 400-foot straight shot with a distance driver, I don't want to pick this disc. This is what I see a lot of people doing, is picking one driver, say it's your Excalibur or your favorite disc by your favorite manufacturer, and they just throw that disc over and over and over again no matter what the shot calls for, just because it's over 400 feet and they have to throw their distance driver. There's so many shots and so many shapes in your distance driver that you need a versatile lineup in order to execute those shots. This will save you more strokes than you think just by being able to pick the right disc. Now you've picked the right disc, now you need to consider the situation. Is there water to the right? Is there low-hanging trees? Is the wind blowing a certain way? If there's water to the right and the wind's blowing left to right, I don't want to use my most unstable distance driver for that shot. Because if I mess up at all, the disc is going to flip up and then the wind's going to push it. Well, now I'm in the water. So maybe I would go to my medium disc, which if it flips up a little bit, it's still going to fight the wind and be on the edge of the water, but still get the distance. It's all about the situation. You don't want to be picking the right disc in the wrong situation or the wrong disc in the right situation. There's plenty of distance driver shots or shots in general in this game that line up for very easy, very simple shots. And sometimes I see people, and even I've done it myself, make them more complicated. Most times, if you're on a pretty open course where you're going to be able to use your distance driver a lot, there's going to be a line that makes the most sense. And when that line makes the most sense, you need to pick your driver that even when you're throwing a bad shot, it still might give you a 30-foot putt. Now that's the thing about golf, is the more opportunities you can give yourself to score, the better you're going to do. So don't pick your disc that if it flips over, it's 80 feet away. Maybe pick your disc that at best is going to be 10 feet away, but at worst is going to be 45 feet away. That gives you a wide range of still being able to make that birdie putt or that par putt that you wouldn't have if you chose your baby, but it might not be good for that shot. So I use 2 grips while throwing my distance drivers. One looks like this. And I use it about 98% of the time. And one looks like this. That one barely gets used. I'll use this grip, which I consider a power grip, if I really have to throw it super high over trees or something like that. Or if I just have to rip an absolute max power shot turned over high, I might use the power grip. 98% of the shots you see me throw though are with this grip right here. It still gives me that nice pop out of my hand, but it gives me a lot of control at the angle because my fingers are out here on the flight plate. And so I have very much control over the angle of the disc, which, as I just talked about, you want the most control all the time. So that grip gives me the most control, which makes me feel the most confident. Whether I'm on the tee pad or I'm running down the fairway, I think that the grip matters a tremendous amount. You don't need to over grip it or do anything like that. In this game, smooth is far. Alright guys, so another thing I really see people do when they get a distance driver in their hand is they start rushing down the tee pad and like running and really over torquing it and ripping on it just because it's a distance driver. These discs still need to be thrown smooth and with required form. You can't just get a distance driver in your hand and just start ripping it over and doing stuff that you don't normally do and expect the disc to correct it. You still have to use proper form. I actually just made a 5 tips to better your form video. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure to go back and check that out and come back to this video. But when you have proper form, every disc in your bag is going to fly better. You're going to see better results more consistently, and that's the goal. When you're throwing these discs, you have to remember that the disc coming out smooth is better than the disc coming out at 100% power. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully these are some tips that we can put into your brain to make you a better golfer. We don't always care about throwing it the farthest, but scoring the best is the priority. So hopefully these things can help you out and make you more aware of your surroundings and when you're picking your disc. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank my sponsors, Infinite Disc and Legacy Disc. Also, go check out my website, gibsondiscgolf.com. There's plenty of cool merch and everything on there. Thank you guys so much. I'll check you out in the next video.